What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another Geoguessr video. This Saturday, I'm going to be playing in Rainbolt's Geoguessr tournament, which is going to be on the map Rural World. Now, this is going to be a really interesting tournament because Rural World is quite seriously one of the hardest maps in Geoguessr. It has so many bait locations. It's created by Topotic, who is a pro player himself, so he knows what is really difficult in Geoguessr. So today, I'm going to be playing on Rural World, trying to get the best streak and scores I can, and just trying to get a feel for the map. This is only a 20,000 location map, so remembering repeat rounds is not that hard, and so I'll try and pay attention to the ones I fail on, because if there's anything super baity that I can remember, that's going to be super useful. So I'll go with 30 seconds per round, which is I think about how long the rounds in the tournament last, and no moving, and let's see how we go. So yeah, really looking forward to this tournament, and essential is practicing on this map, I think. So this one's immediately interesting. We have these wooden poles with the hooks on them. It's kind of a lot of the time what you see in Eswatini, this kind of hook pattern without a T-bar at the top of the pole. We have mountains over there to our east and to our west. The ones west are further away. Actually, I said that the wrong way around, but the ones east, the west are kind of closer. So I think we might be somewhere here in Eswatini with this red dirt. Let's see if I'm right about that. Ends up being 80 kilometers away, so a good start to the video there. Next one here, we have grass in the center of the road here. We have wooden poles with the hooks on them. This is common in the UK and Ireland. This grass in the middle of the road is known to be an Irish thing, but really you can find it in both countries. And so now I'm just kind of left thinking, which is more likely here? I kind of feel like this might actually be Scotland rather than Ireland, but yeah, not really too sure. I think when you have three people on the team, you said one Ireland, one Scotland, and then one England, and that's probably good enough. So yeah, it is actually Scotland there, so that's a good little result, but yeah, was kind of halfway between as well. Okay, this one I can immediately tell is Bangladesh based on the left-hand drive, and yeah, we've also got this kind of very typical avenues of trees on the side of each side of the road. So yeah, I would say this is very typical Bangladesh, not that hard of a round. So I'd say half the rounds in this map are difficult, half of them are not, and of the ones that are difficult, some are incredibly difficult. Some I look at the round and I look at where it actually is and I'm just like, how can it possibly be there? It just doesn't make sense. Okay, this is some famous coverage in Australia. We've got snow on the side of the road. Obviously snow coverage, not that common in my great country, but over here near the center you do have the snow coverage. So yeah, 34 kilometers away there, very nice result. Next one here we have black car with long antenna, and whereabouts would this be? It kind of feels quite Ukrainian, but quite a bit further north. So I'm feeling like Western Russia is a decent shout here, but just kind of somewhere over here. I'm gonna try that. I could see this being other side of Kazakhstan maybe. But yeah, it is kind of more Western. That's a good result. Okay, so there we go. No bad scores there. I think in the tournament, we probably could have gotten one there, one further out, and we would have been fine. As for all the other rounds, they were pretty much more straightforward. So that was a pretty forgiving 22,000. I mean, I won't always get that high on Rural World, I don't think. Okay, next one here, we do have some wooden poles. No, some concrete poles actually, and they look to be the kind that you would see in Malaysia. They have a very round top, and that's very typical for Malaysia. And we have a lot of oil palms here, but I'm just wondering, is that a bit of black on the pole? Could this still be somewhere in Peninsular Malaysia? Yeah, it's going to be Peninsular Malaysia, even though it kind of looks more Borneo, I would say. So I think when it looks Borneo, I click on the East Coast here. Let's see if that's correct. It is. So yeah, I would say that's a decent meta. When it looks quite like Borneo, Malaysia, then clicking East Coast can work. That's for certain. Okay, next one here. Let's see what we're going on. A 6th streak. We have not failed so far, I don't believe. With this police car behind, we should be somewhere in Nigeria. Generally speaking, you have the police car following you in Nigeria, and then in Kenya, you have just a silver SUV. And another Toyota silver SUV, but without the police lights. So that's a general rule of thumb. You can see normal cars following you in Nigeria as well, I would say, though. This feels more southern just because of the tropicalness of it. I could even see it being, around that kind of Enugu area. So I think that's what I'll go for here. Let's try it. And ends up being more where I had it clicked. Actually, no, even much further over, near Ibadan, but that's a fine result. That's the kind of thing you just get to spread across the south when it's that green, and you should be fine. Okay, this one's kind of more difficult. This could be Peru, could be Bolivia. We do have kind of a thicker looking signpost there, so I'm wondering if this is more Bolivian looking. Feels like it's near Lake Titicaca with this long dry grass, and we do have hills basically every direction, so that's definitely usable. I could see this being just over the border. That's the problem. I can't really see the signpost well enough to actually determine what the climate is exactly like, but we got on the right side of the border. Stumbling over my words today. But That's really nice. Yeah, we moved to an 8 streak here, which is good. Okay, next one here, we are looking at some kind of a forest. Almost looks like some rubber trees here. This really reminds me of Indonesia. I could see it being kind of a strange Thailand as well. We seem to have a stilts house here, so this could be Thailand. We don't have a Google cart at all, so I actually may lean Thailand here. I had to sneeze there, but here's my guess. Let's see if it's correct or not. And it was just actually Indonesia, which is my first thought there. Makes sense in hindsight, but yeah, that's just kind of a difficult round without the car showing. Did definitely look like Thailand. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of round where you could get a spread with 3 teammates, but would be good to, you know, be confident there. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, give it a like. That's how YouTube knows what to show people and new viewers and whatnot. This one is looking like somewhere in South Africa. When you see this kind of dry landscape with hills that have like the flat tops and everything, I would say guessing the N7 is quite a good idea. And this feels quite dry and barren. So I would say even up towards Springbok would make a lot of sense here. It could be like extending over further out here. Yeah, it's a bit further out here, but definitely this kind of area is looking the super driest with mountains. Yeah, that's a good little piece of knowledge to have. So apart from the Indonesia there, that was not a bad seed. Again, the type of seed where we probably could have had good spreads. And yeah, I've yet to see a round that probably would have stumped me completely. So this one should be somewhere in, well, I would assume it's somewhere in Argentina with the black Google car here. It kind of looks like Curacao, but we don't have roof racks, so we can't be there, which is fortunate, because I think I may have gone Curacao here. I don't know. It doesn't really give me island vibes. It's easy to say when you know. Anyway, I would say this is quite far north, though. Not really sure what's giving me that opinion, but like it's very flat, so I don't know. Let's see if that works. Ends up being much further south, so that's a good little good thing to memorize. This kind of area near the lake looking quite barren, so perhaps I'll remember that for next time. Who knows? This one is looking fairly similar to the last one, except the mountains are much smaller and more distant. So that last one, let me see if I can actually. So that was right near Calvina last time. So I wonder if we could be further on the R63. Do we have a fitting road angle here? We do not really have a fitting road angle here, so I wonder if we could be further up then instead, like on this kind of road angle here. I mean, that literally fits perfectly, so I would not be surprised if I was correct here. The problem is the mountains might be too distant. Yeah, okay, there we go. We're actually on the N7 this time, so the mountains are actually a bit more inland, and that's why we can see them all the way to our east there, I believe. So, not a bad guess. I mean, Calvina kind of area, I mean, had the same look, so good guess. Okay, next one here, we are yellow outer lines. This is a super strange round. It should be Mexico, but we got yellow outer lines with a stubby antenna that you find with one rib around it. It should be somewhere in Latin America. So once we know that, this really only fits for Mexico unless it was a really strange Brazil. Also, Mexico is a country that does weird road lines sometimes. If you see white center lines or yellow outside lines even like this, don't be too surprised. But okay, I was thinking somewhere up here. Who knows? This probably is just further south, actually. Yeah, good switch. Ends up being... just click... If it looks completely confusing in Mexico, clicking Mexico City and hoping for the best is not a bad idea. The problem was it was pretty flat, so I knew it shouldn't be somewhere too far south, but yeah, okay. That was an interesting round. Never seen that. Next one here, we should be somewhere in... I think this is actually... Albania rather than Italy. Albania and Italy use these bollards, and San Marino. We have a long antenna. Do we have rifts? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. So something about the landscape gave me that impression. With Albania, I think I really am quite poor at picking if it's north or south. On this occasion, it kind of reminds me more of Montenegro, so I'll click northern, and it was southern. Yeah, so that is pretty much my Albania guessing in a nutshell, but okay, it's fine. We've got the right country. Next one, we have the follow car with the map on it, with the map. So this is one of these stupid matters where they had the map showing near Sfax, and there's one other city. Now, I'll probably just go Sfax here, because it definitely reminds me of that. But if it's the other one, maybe it's Susa, but we'll definitely see. Yeah. If it's the other one, we'll know. But I guess I'll just click on the outskirts of Sfax this time. But yeah, if you see that map in the black follow car that's a Mazda, then it should be there. Okay, it's actually Gabez. That's it. Gabez and Sfax both have the map, so good to know. Okay, so that's a 21.1. Again, not too bad. Only real miss there was on the Argentina. Everything else was pretty acceptable. And Argentina's a big country. So you would be able to spread there. But the Mexico was the only one that was difficult. Dude, if the antenna wasn't showing, I don't know if I can actually manage to get Mexico there. Okay, this one, could this be Donetsk? I think that Donetsk has quite similar coverage. The only problem is, or could this be Kaliningrad? Or could this just be something regular Russia? I don't know. I think Kaliningrad, I've had this round before, I think, actually. But I think it may have been Donetsk and I didn't go there, or I was quite surprised about the poor road quality. So let's find out what it actually is. And yeah, okay, I had this today or yesterday, and it was over here. That's right. Donetsk would probably have the... I clicked on Odessa. What am I doing, bro? I'm a bit tired, but okay, this was what I was thinking. So it wasn't actually that far from where I was actually meaning to click. But yeah, you'd probably have the long antenna there. I'm pretty sure you'd always have the long antenna there. So yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, kind of a bit of a throw, but I was kind of surprised. Normally the Russian roads are not that low quality, so you know, you do occasionally see it though. Okay, here we have a section pole. I think this one might be Ecuador. Or Cambodia. So where's the sun? The sun is solidly northern here, so that would suggest southern hemisphere. If it is actually solidly northern, I mean, yeah, it is. So I would say that this is Ecuador then with this pole. Let's see if I'm right about that. I mean, it could still be Cambodia, but we'll see. And it was just, wow, that's Brazil. Okay. That pole did not seem... So let me go back to this round just so I can explain it quickly. So I would say in Brazil, you typically do not have so many sections inside the concrete pole. This pole here, I would say, is quite rare. Normally the Brazilian ones have like 3 or 4 sections or something like that. I am not familiar with that one. So good to keep in mind. Obviously, you can have very similar looking rounds in Ecuador, I would say. But maybe the sun should have set my alarm bells off, despite the fact that it was actually kind of a similar latitude. Okay, anyway, let's move past that round. We've got a black car with a short antenna here. We've got a lot of white flowers. I'm wondering if this is Estonia. We've got a green blur here as well, so maybe it is Estonia. I could also see Russia here, but something about this road, the gravel is kind of more rocky, which I think you see in Estonia more often as well. So I'm feeling good about Estonia here. And knowing the map, it's probably on the islands, but I'm going mainland. And it is mainland, good. Okay, so a good guess to get us back on track here. Here we have something like a squiggly pole, which you often see in Bolivia. We have a white Google car, so yeah, I really like Bolivia here. So when it's a pole made of like one single trunk, and it's kind of like it curves a bit, then Bolivia is quite likely, I think. I'm thinking this is south of Santa Cruz somewhere with this landscape. That's just my impression here. Let's try around there. And will I be correct? Yep, just about. Ends up being on this road here. So I think with lining up the road angle, that was pretty achievable. I'm trying to think, that Brazil, would I ever send one Brazil? If I'm in a team duel, do I call Brazil? You probably do send one Brazil, but I just don't know where. You'd probably send one probably closer over here. Anyway, just thinking about that for when I do enter the tournament. This one looks to be somewhere in Italy, I would say. Driving right, European style sign, big mountains. Not too much to go off of though, based apart from that. So I think that's what I'll guess here. We'll see if it's correct or not. Let's see now. And will I be right? No, it's Greece. Single white line in Greece. Normally you have the double white line, especially on a road like that. So maybe it was too faded, or maybe I was missing something. We went up with a 14,000, so that was a pretty disastrous seed. 3 times we missed the country, so that really proves how hard this map really is. Okay, let us run it back here. Let's see what goes on. Starting off here with some kind of Mexico, I would say, with these pole tops. This Google car also fits for Mexico. This is what some people call the white Generation 4 car. Even though it's blue in the middle, it has the white on either side. And that one is definitely showing up in some countries and not others, in some regions and not others. I think CDMX near Mexico City probably works pretty well here. We got mountains pretty close to us. It's kind of nondescript and it's hard Mexico. So I think clicking there is a good idea. And will I be right? It's actually Nuevo Leon this time, so not at all. That's the mountain ridge we could see. Pretty pronounced, whereas over this side we couldn't see anything, and that was actually flat. So if we could see that, we probably wouldn't go there, but not a terrible scoring guess. Next one here, we are looking at something in the United States or something like that, I would say. Could this be Canada? These bollards are more typical to find in the US than Canada, that's for sure. Pole top's interesting as well. State here is kind of difficult. This red-tinged road, I'm sure, means something, but I'm not entirely sure what. Kind of a slightly rolling landscape, but definitely quite flat. Kansas came to mind, Nebraska even. It feels kind of cold. Let's go Nebraska here. Ends up being in southern Dakota, or South Dakota rather, and not too far away from where I guess, so definitely not too bad. That red tinged road though is not something you see often at all in the United States, so kind of interesting. Here we have like a longish antenna. We have A-profile guardrails here, which would definitely come in handy, I think. An A-frame pole there as well. Sweden came to mind, but I think this is too, like, southern looking for Sweden. It's a bit too, like, green, and a bit too, like, dry in the fields. So then I'm kind of left wondering here. Long antenna can fit for Poland, so with the southern vibe, no, this guardrail's wrong, so... Yeah, I mean, it was just Ukraine. That makes sense. Poland and Ukraine can look fairly similar. This was definitely much further south than Sweden. I was right about that, at least. But without seeing the Google car, it can be tough to pick Ukraine sometimes. Oh, but okay, that definitely makes sense. I mean, the road was high quality, and that is not something you always see in Ukraine, obviously. One of the most poor country, one of the countries with the worst road qualities in the whole game. This one's an interesting one. We're driving right with a white Google car, in a very remote area. White long antenna Google car is quite... There's not too many places it can be. So I would even say this could be like out near Vladivostok or maybe Chelyabinsk, where you also have that car quite a bit. I'll try Chelyabinsk here. It feels a bit more European maybe than that. And it was actually all the way out here near Khabarovsk. So yeah, I don't really know if I messed up the pronunciation there, but of course we're very far away. So obviously we're probably in the tournament send someone there, but as for me personally, I didn't pick up that vibe enough to guess that. Okay, this one's interesting. We have like a very green landscape, the red dirt. This antenna is actually confusing me. Okay, I thought we should be in Cambodia here. Now I'm less sure. Now I'm actually thinking Roraima might be possible. It's like bent over, so it's actually hard to tell which antenna it is, but I'll try Roraima here. We got mountains not too far away, so I'll click close to Boa Vista. Hopefully that's okay. Wow, it was Cambodian antenna. That is a hard location, so it's frustrating. I don't like making such mistakes on my videos, but there we go, 0 points. That's a 9,000 point game. Wow. Sub 10,000 point games, I think, on my channel, relatively rare, especially when it's only official coverage, relatively rare. So let's see if we can pick it up a little bit before we end off the video here. But suffice to say, this map is really difficult, and it's going to make for some interesting games in the tournament. Definitely tune in this Saturday. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Central European time, if you didn't know. Okay, so here we have a long antenna, Asian-looking foliage. That is an interesting looking house though, so maybe it's not Asia. This could still be Europe. I thought of Taiwan though. The road feels very Asian, to the point where I still want to go Taiwan despite this European looking building. So I think that's what I'll go for here. I mean, Topotic has been very crafty in the making of this map, I must say. It is just Taiwan there, so a bit of redemption there. Good guess. Next one should be just like Romania or Bulgaria. Pretty boring round. I will just go in southern Romania and it will probably be over the border. This time it is, of course, and dude, I always pick it wrong. Like on this map, you should just go with the opposite of what your opinion is, honestly, because it's a lot of hand-picked locations that are psychologically driven, you know what I mean? Anyway, this one, Thailand, but could it just be Cambodia with no antenna? Always could be. Maybe I should just go on Cambodia here if it's the opposite of what I thought. No, I'm going Thailand. I'm sticking strong with my principles here. Let's see it. You can't make this up, bro. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright, Topotic. Alright, I see. Normally, you would have some kind of antenna in Cambodia, but it is possible to find rounds like that without. Anyway, here we are. Let's see if we can guess the wrong side of a border the third time in a row. This is a red and white chevron there. This looks like, Netherlands. We've got white number plates, though. I'm not going to try and click on the wrong side of the border for content here. I actually want to get the right one. I would say maybe Netherlands is most likely, but just in case it is Belgium, I'm going to go right here. Oh, wow. It's actually Czechia. Okay. Did not quite get that. I mean, I think if I looked for longer, maybe I could have, but ultimately around like that, you can't really see too much. It's just in a forest, so Netherlands is not even that bad of a guess, I guess. Here we are in the Philippines. This is pretty easy with the road and the white Google car. Am I at all worried about Indonesia here? I don't think so. I think this should just be there. And I would probably pick Luzon here myself. And pretty easy Philippines, was it? Philippines, Cambodia, 50-50 strikes back again. We get 17,000 there. And we missed the country once. twice, 3 times, 4 times out of 5. We missed the country there. Wow. Okay, one more seed. Hopefully we can get some, wow, hopefully we can get some kind of redemption here. That would be really nice. Okay, this one is at least quite an easy Bangladesh. We've got the tuk-tuk, we've got the language, we've got this kind of avenues of trees once again, and yeah, so feeling pretty good about this. If I'm wrong, I don't even know what to say. It is correct. Good. Okay, there we go. 81 kilometers away. Fine result. Next one here. I'm going to focus fully here. Try and get the right country every time. We've got these huts. This should just be Lesotho. Kind of flat-topped mountains. Vast-looking landscape. This one is familiar. We're like looking down onto towns. So we could just be near Mazuru. Could certainly make sense. But I'm wondering about one of these like more central towns, honestly. Maybe even over here could make sense. I'm going to try that instead, you know. Ends up being, okay, near Mazuru, but right country. Good, good, good. Next one here. Longer dashes in the center. Bollard there, maybe? Driving right, I would say. With the longer dashes, could it be France? I mean, France is known for having long center dashes. But the forest doesn't feel that French, nor does the bollard. So maybe it is just like a weird Belgium. Could still just be another one of those Czechias we talked about. I'm going to try Belgium again here. Reluctantly, mind you. And it's Denmark. Okay, makes sense. Not awful. Couldn't say it's awful, but would have liked to have gotten the right country there. This is what? Maybe Cambodia, Colombia again. Another one of these bait Colombias, perhaps. Yeah, I can see that. We have the white Generation 4 car that's fully white, and that one is definitely common in Colombia, so I think I'm going to go east of the Andes in Colombia here. This might not make so much sense, but the angle is right. Let's see if I'm right about it. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. How is that there, bro? How have I just... Oh my gosh, bro. Alright, 0 points. Are you hitting me? Like, okay, whatever. Yeah. 46.1.0. I mean, is it, ever... Interesting. A profile guardrail here. Is this Hungary, I wonder? The signs could be Hungarian, yes. But maybe they're more likely to be Bulgarian, actually. I feel like this is a bit of Hungary bait that's in Bulgaria, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. Oh my gosh, it's Austria, okay. Kilometer markers, wow, 15,000. Okay, video's over, guys. Tune into me on the tournament, see if I do a little bit better than this. This was pretty dismal. Pretty dismal. I would say it's kind of late in the day, but goodness me, that was pretty bad. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of an interesting end. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time. Goodbye.